Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we close out today's show on this October the 28th. Let me tell you about next week is, of course, Dave Gabbert, Gene Smith will be in studios. We call them Brother Darrell and Darrell. And we're going to talk a lot about TWRA, talk about the hunting season coming up. And no, I will not be in the woods next Saturday morning on the show, but I will be in the woods right after the show goes off. I'm heading up to the McCrory Farm near Whiteville. I was up there, been up there twice in the last 2 weeks. Got a new ground blind set up, and I hope to make success. And we're going to talk to James next week's show also about preparation. Going to get Scott Stengel on from the Stengel Brothers Deer Processing. About a week ago, he'd only processed 28 deer during the archery season because it's been so hot.
Wow.
But now I think this weekend is really going to have the deer around. And then, of course, when the muzzleloader season opens next Saturday, I hope to put one on the ground, and I'll let you know all about that. But
hey, Larry, I'd like to follow you up to McCrory Farms, and while you're hunting, I'll fish.
Yeah, he wants to get in that pond. I know he does. So, hey, let's talk fishing again. John Gordon filled us in on waterfowl, and now Ron has got somebody else he can talk to here again.
No, wait a minute, John. A lot of times, you go duck hunt. I mean, you're a duck hunter, and everybody knows
waterfowl hunter. Yeah.
And when you get through in the morning, do you not sometimes just go fishing afterwards?
No, but he would if you came along.
Yeah. Well, no, not really down here. I tell you what, where I do that is in Texas. I'm heading there in a couple of weeks, and that's a great,
I know
cast
Buck
and blast
Gardner.
type deal.
He'll hunt in the morning. He'll waterfowl hunt in the morning, and in the afternoons he's crappie fishing.
Well, that's after he eats.
Well, I tell you, I'm a big whitetail hunter as well, so that's usually what happens to me is I'll duck hunt in the morning and whitetail hunt.
We're going to get a good report from John from his Texas trip.
Yeah.
He's going down there with our good friend Gary Garth, who is.
Yeah, no Gary. Yeah.
Well, let's talk bass fishing, fall fishing. Who best to talk to it with than David Best out at Primary Tackle out on Stage Road in Bartlett. Good morning, David.
Good morning, y'all.
Okay, now, David, we've had the front come through. It's cold this morning. It was cool earlier in the week and windy and things along that line. It looks like we're going to get some cool weather for a while. All right, you and Ron talk about weather changes and the effect it's going to have on the Mid-South. I'll let David talk first, and Ron, you interpret what he said. All right?
Well, the weather changes are going to be good for the fishing. Hopefully it's going to get the fishing to one place or the other place. We're getting a lot of great reports of catching tons and tons of fish right now. The guys are catching 60, 70, 80 at Pickwick and Tunica Cutoff and McKellar and all these different places, but you're not hearing a lot of reports of guys catching big fish. They're really scattered out right now. They're catching fish anywhere from 20 foot of water on a ledge to 2 foot of water on a top water. So they're just really spread out. We're here in the end of October. Water temperatures are still in the upper 70s, and we still haven't hit really. We're beginning to hit that strong fall pattern where you catch them on top waters, and they are grouped up together, schooling and eating on bait fish, but not one of those strong fall patterns yet.
Yep, David,
so
you're absolutely
this is
right.
Do it. This is going to do it this end of this week.
Well, you're absolutely right, David. Last weekend, when I was measuring the water temperature around, it was in the mid-high 70s. And just yesterday, after these couple of days that we've had this week, it has fallen all the way to the high 68, 69 degrees, 70 degrees. And so it's going to put those fish in that fall feeding pattern as we talk about. And, of course, David, you know that what happens is when this water cools down, your bait fish, your forage base, starts moving shallow to also feed, and that's the lunch wagon that the bass will follow, right?
That is it. That's and that's
A
one
lunch
of those
wagon. I like that.
we
term.
wait on
Yeah.
That's one of those things I wait on every year. This is my absolute favorite time to fish.
It is
It is. You can go and
For
catch,
numbers, it's great, the best.
for numbers. Okay,
For numbers, it
not
is
big
best.
because I don't. All the record fish seem like they're always caught
Springtime.
in
Well, they're fairly
early
low.
February, March, April. Like that.
That's spring.
But you don't catch a lot of big fish unless you're in a pond or something, I guess, and you get lucky. But
You don't catch as many big fish in the fall, but you can literally go catch the numbers and go catch them on a top water, and you can go catch them. It gets kind of easily predictable is the word I like to use, and the other piece to it is you don't really have to get up and going as early even.
oh, Ron loves that.
I love that.
Ron loves that. He's not up.
Of course,
and
the
going
sun
early.
doesn't come up until 7 o'clock right now. Until
Yeah, so
we lose the daylight savings time. So.
Well, it's coming up. We're going to
Coming
do that
quick.
a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll get into daylight savings
I don't
time
like
and
it.
get that extra hour. We're talking again to our good friend David Best, a primary tackle out on Stage Road in Bartlett. And I want to ask you guys, and John, I know you fish too and everything, but talk a little bit about the perspective here from 75 one day and 50 today. I mean, does that spur the fish? Does that what happens when we have a 25-degree change in temperature?
To me, it makes them predictable.
Now, what do you mean? He was just saying that same thing. Explain that to the layman.
It becomes predictable because that's a strong cold front that moves in. Your fish don't scatter in it. What they do is they get very, very tight to cover.
They bunch? Do they bunch up?
Well, if a piece of cover is big enough, there'll be several fish on it.
Okay.
And all you do is you fish tighter to the cover. You fish inside. You use baits that you can get in the cover. For instance, a Texas rig creature bait of some kind,
There you
a
go.
jig,
I would use that on Halloween. Yeah, I mean that would be
a
perfect
shaky
bait.
head.
Yeah, a shaky
Or-
head. That's
or
what I'm
even-
doing right now. Okay.
Or slow rolling a spinner bait through cover. David, John, you guys both fish during cold fronts. Your perception.
Yeah, I completely agree. It does two things. That little 25-degree drop that we're going to get over.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That first day, it's going to be those fish are going to pull real tight to a piece of cover. It makes them very much more predictable. It makes them very much easier to kind of target. They don't tend to roam around so much. So if you slow down, take your time,
Yeah.
you can really pick a lot of fish off. But in the next 2 to 3 days after that, that little cool spell will really activate them because it tells them, hey, look, winter's coming. It's time to start eating.
And
You're
that's
going to see some of the fattest little fish you've ever seen in your life.
and there's
for the next month.
and there's no reason, and I want to throw John into this because now, and we talk a lot about being prepared for weather changes, and I got caught on the golf course on Tuesday with all the wind, 30-mile-an-hour wind, temperatures in the 50s, and we're trying to play golf out there, and everybody else was freezing to death. I had on layers, and I was prepared. So, you can actually get I'm throwing Avery into this because they got clothing that even for the fishermen, you don't have to be a hunter.
Absolutely.
And John, you guys have come up with some clothing lines that enables a person to, whether you're at a cold football game or whether you're out chasing rabbits or whatever, it doesn't necessarily have to be a hunting.
No, that's correct, and we really, our line of clothing, especially, the banded clothing and some of the Avery Heritage stuff. It, like I said, it translates into just as good fall fishing gear as it does for duck hunting. I mean, because it's made for the same conditions. Damp conditions,
cold
possible
conditions,
rain conditions, cold
yeah.
conditions,
wind. You guys have got
all of it. So it really crosses over into the fishing world as well.
I would say anybody that gets out in the outdoors for whatever reason.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, even like going to a football game, nothing like having to sit in a blustery, cold, wind-driven stadium.
Yeah.
And not be comfortable.
And that's a good point too. There's one thing on the Bandit side. We have a full line of lifestyle type clothing, which is not camouflage and everything like that. We've got fleece pullovers and shirts, jackets, and everything.
Layers
that are designed that for everyday wear, casual wear. It's really good stuff.
And I know, David, from your perspective out there, this is a good time to stop by your store and change that gear maybe that you've been using that Ron talks about. What was that horny toad thing we had earlier on here? That was a really
horny toad will work for a little while, but David, there's some other fall time baits that work well too, right?
Yeah. What are we looking at? What are we looking at right now?
Well, right now we're still looking at that topwater bite. We're still looking at those horny toads. We're still looking at frogs. We got maybe another 2 or 3 weeks of that to go. But we're transitioning into now for November.
Yes.
We're transitioning into A-rigs, into football jigs, into those crawl-type baits, some of the things that we really sell for that time of year. Some of the swim minnows. We just added contact fat swing impact swim baits to our assortment in the store. We're still adding, a lot of those kinds of things too. But an A-rig is going to be one of those things that a lot of people are going to be switching to here very soon. Some of the different crankbaits, something that's that mid-running DR200 Bandit to a 3XD, 5XD striking crankbait.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there's a new 4.0 square bill out now by Strike King.
How big is that?
It's between a 2.5 and a 8.0, which is... It's about a 4-inch bait.
Wow.
It's about a 4-inch. It's about a 4-inch bait. Weighs 7/8 of an ounce somewhere in there.
Oh my goodness!
It's a big heavy square bill.
You don't want to hit your partner in the head with that. Okay, so hey, we got to get out of here now. So tell them where you're located, David. And get a store hours. You're out there today on Saturday. I know. Tell them what's going on.
We are out here on Saturdays. It's 10 to 5 on Saturdays and 10 to 7 on Monday through Friday. We're closed on Sundays for church and fishing, but we are located at 6765 Stage Road here in Bartlett.
Yep.
And we'd love to have you guys out.
Come on by and see David Best, and I'm sure some of the family will be there too. You'll be amazed. Got a great. If you're looking for a place, he's got a room in the back that's just wonderful to help to club events and things like that. And I know you've been doing a lot of that too, right?
Yes, we have. We've been doing a lot of those. We're steadily adding new clubs. 901 Bass Club's new high school tournament club.
Really? Okay.
A couple of other clubs have started meeting out there. We have our monthly meeting every month. Actually, we just had Billy Dole there Tuesday night.
Oh, right.
Did a great job. It was a great one. We really enjoyed having him out.
He knows fishing. He knows.
Yeah, he knows fishing.
And you have that? Do you have that on Tuesday nights usually? Is that right?
We have that on the last Tuesday of the month. We moved it up this month for Halloween.
Okay, but it'll normally on the last Tuesday of the month.
Normally on the last Tuesday of the month. I still got to get Ron out here one day.
I'll do it.
Not on the American Crappie Trail, or not doing any of the 5 million other things that he's always.
All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you, David. We'll talk to you later.
You.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you all. Thank you, Ron Wong, for stopping by in between travels. It's good to see. He's got licenses in 12 states now. Mm-hmm. Thank you, John. I know this is a busy time for you, and cranked up and ready for opening day. It will be real soon, right?
Real soon. Arkansas, I believe November.
It's the same day as deer season.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's the same day as deer season.
Tennessee and Mississippi will open the day after Thanksgiving.
Well, stop by Avery. They're open today at...
I'm going to go there before I go to Oxford.
Okay, I bet you
layer up.
And good luck to the land bears, black sharks.
Have a good day,
Have
everybody.
a good day. This we're not talking football today. Greg, thank you, take it. All right, let's get out of here. And this is Larry Ray reminding you, I'm going to take you right here. Look for the 2017 November Mid-South Hunting and Fishing News is coming out. We have stories by Alan Houston, John Phillips. My good friend right here, John Gordon, has written a story about what does a strong waterfowl population really mean to hunters. you'll find out he's got some answers there. Again, hope you have a great day. And don't forget, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And God bless the USA.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.